Now, okay, I'll just make sure I've all the devices and all off here. Now, so welcome everyone to the male fertility workshop. I'm actually really delighted to be doing this, and it's my first time doing this workshop, and I feel it's so important because it's usually the women that are taking the responsibility and leading with the fertility. So I just want to share some of my insights from the male fertility point of view. So first, I'll just share a bit about myself. Some of you will know me and some of you don't, and a bit about my own background. Um, so I've been helping people with fertility since I qualified as a midwife in 95. And my background is I'm a registered general nurse, registered midwife, and I'm the mother of three great girls, which is important to mention too. And I had my own challenges at the start, and they were all conceived, and I had natural births with them all and no epidural. And sometimes, I believe for me to understand this, I need to have done it first. So, yes, so I'm really passionate about supporting the body naturally and that we can achieve results once we work with nature as much as possible, preferably not against it. My background is I worked in hospitals in Ireland, England, and Australia. And to my knowledge, I was the first midwife to work in an IVF clinic here in Ireland. And that was in the Sims Clinic up in Dublin. I also have a diploma in obs and gynae in research. And then I studied Chinese medicine for 5 years, looking deeper for answers. And I'm a qualified herbalist and acupuncturist since 2001. And I spent also 2 years traveling and learning from different cultures and healers. And after doing all that, I studied Western and Chinese medicine, a lot around fertility for approximately 11 years. And after doing all that, I would say nature is my main teacher, which I'll be bringing through this presentation this evening. And also just to mention, I'm a farmer's daughter, so I grew up with understanding how to grow crops and with animals and breeding animals. So all that is very important too. The techniques that I use, a lot of them are self-learned. I've been, as I say, doing this 30 years. I'm very passionate about it, and I've been on my own journey, which was quite challenging. But through that challenge, I've learned to look into the body deeper and understand how nature is always supporting us, even though it mightn't seem like that. And as I learn through me and through people that I support, I really want to share this, that hopefully it will help all of you listening here this evening also. And just to say, if any of you have any questions, I'll be doing questions at the very end. And so if you're happy to put it into the chat or if you want to openly ask me at the end. And if any of you, you're very welcome to switch your videos on or to leave them off and just leave your microphones off. And also, just to let you know how this is going to go, I'm going to do the presentation with all the slides to share what I understand, tips and tools to help you with your fertility. And also then an excellent nutritionist, Aisling Fitzgibbon, is going to talk for approximately 15 minutes and share, some excellent tips on how to boost male fertility for all the men. And also Mihal and Leiden are going to share their inspirational story. And it's great to hear, especially from a man. So thank you, Mihal. So we'll be coming to all that towards the end. So what I'm understanding is fertility is possible regardless of your diagnosis. Over the 30 odd years, I've seen all different types of male fertility symptoms, such as all these listed here: low sperm counts, poor sperm motility, abnormal sperm morphology, which is the shape. Something that there isn't enough recognition given to is abnormal high sperm count. I'll be talking a bit about that too, that it's all about balance, not too high or not too low. When I see an abnormal high sperm count, it usually means the sperm is sticky and the dead sperm are holding on and not clearing from the body. Also high DNA fragmentation, varicocele, which is like a varicose vein in the testicle, hormonal imbalance, ejaculation disorders, infections, immune-related sperm antibodies, lifestyle factors, and environmental exposures. I've seen it all. And maybe just to share, because probably this is one of the more extreme cases that I've seen. This is a few years ago now. One man came to me and everything on his sample was zero. And on the comments underneath, it said one single motile sperm seen. And once there was one coming through, then I knew there was no blockages and it was possible to get more. So I worked with him and, and obviously I've learned a lot more since then. This is at a guess maybe 12 years ago now. And, and I worked with him on where this block was, what he was carrying in his family line. And I gave him herbs and we worked deeper on the nature of the body intelligence. And after approximately 5 or 6 months, the count was 6 million. And they had already decided that they were going to do IVF. I personally felt it would keep coming up, but they did IVF and they got two excellent quality blastocysts, which is a 5-day embryo. And they transferred one and it worked straight away. And also I was treating his wife concurrently and getting her period really red with no clots and as healthy as we could and her egg quality also. So they got pregnant with that baby, had a child. Then he went back using the techniques. They then conceived naturally. And then they actually used contraception so that they wouldn't get pregnant because they only wanted to have 3 kids, transferred the last blastocyst, and they now have 3 healthy kids. So as I say, he had only one single sperm. So I'm seeing anything is possible. And obviously, I've learned a lot more since then. So, in section 1, we're going to be talking about understanding fertility and from a Western medicine point of view, also. So, male fertility is the inability to cause a fertile woman to conceive due to the sperm quality, count, or the delivery issues. Just to give you some stats, it affects over 70 million couples globally, and in about 50% of cases, male factors contribute. So for some reason, women often think, it's their fault and take the responsibility, but the statistics show that it's equal. So what is a healthy semen analysis? The volume should be above 1.5 mils. The concentration should be at least 15 million per mil, preferably more. The motility should be 40% or over, and the morphology, the shape of the sperm, should be very minimum 4%, preferably higher. Low morphology is actually a very common issue that I'm seeing. So what does healthy semen look like? It's a whitish grey color, kind of jelly-like. It liquefies within 60 minutes. That's why men are often told to have, the sample in the clinic within an hour. So if it's sticky or yellow tinged sperm, semen, it can indicate the presence of antibodies or abnormal cells. So I'll be coming to that and what causes that. So how long does it take to make sperm? It takes 64 to 74 days to fully mature, and lifestyle changes affect the sperm quality over time. But from the time until this actually gets to the stage of ejaculation, that can take up to 90 days. So the 3 months preconceptually are especially important. Well, I personally think even 3 to 6 months because the body is only making it from now. And, so it takes time to get the body healthy first. And then the sperm, are made in that healthy body. But, so any time preconceptually is really important. For me, actually being a good father, this is the most important time preconceptually, because once the embryo is chromosomally formed, that's the health, emotional and physical health of the next they say at least 7 generations, that the DNA has an impact. I personally believe more. So it's so important to be healthy preconceptually, whether you're trying naturally, which is more optimum, or whether you're using IVF or IUI or ICSI. DNA fragmentation, this is a test in Western medicine. And so the DNA frag, what does it do? It measures the DNA damage, and this can, of course, affect then the embryo development, because the sperm is, of course, 50% of this embryo. So it refers to the damage in the genetic material within the sperm. High DNA fragmentation would be considered more than 25%. Good levels are less than 15%. But this is very important in my work. Just because the numbers are good doesn't mean the energy is. So for me, it goes way past just numbers and stats. So even in Western medicine, they would recognize high DNA fragmentation can cause fail implantation, miscarriage, poor embryo development, reduced success with IVF and ICSI, and reduced health in the child, emotional and physical health. So it's so important, for all of you men on this call, fair play to you, you're investing in your future child. And, and things like if a woman, has a miscarriage or the embryo didn't in bed or was weak, the woman often blames herself for poor egg quality. But what I'm seeing, it's certainly equal. And I'm actually seeing a big link with especially the morphology of the sperm, which is the shape. So just to talk a bit about epigenetics and science, your genetics are encoded in your DNA. So the sperm DNA reflects the physical and emotional influences as well as the intergenerational patterns embedded through epigenetics. So this is an important one in my world. It's what's coming down the generational line, and science has proven this now with epigenetics. So while environment, diet, stress, and shape sperm health, the factors above of the intergenerational factors will interact with deeper ancestral information carried within the male reproductive system. So I'll be talking more about this as we go through, but it's what's coming down the family line, that it doesn't just start with you and your sperm. And the same with the women and their eggs, of course. So as I mentioned, energy affects the DNA fragmentation and more. So the DNA fragmentation can reflect inner fragmentation. If there's emotional suppression, unprocessed grief, and often it's not just grief of the lost one, it can be inner grief, this isolated grief, feeling on our own. And, and we just sometimes put up a wall and we don't process that. Or it's the ancestral trauma or the emotional response even to trauma that's passed down through the family line. And healing the man, healing yourself or any man heals the sperm. You're like a macro version of your sperm. And as I say, I'm a farmer's daughter, and but it's a well-known fact, animal breeders understand this and know it to be true. If there was two good racehorses and a racehorse breeder wanted to buy a foal worth 10 million euro, before they even mated, he would have almost decided if he's going to buy that foal just from looking at what's coming down in the breeding with all animals. This happens. So why would it be any different for us? We're very similar DNA. So unfortunately, and I've been in that world for many years, it's just looking at symptoms, at the semen analysis or the DNA fragmentation, but men mightn't be asked anything about stress or what's in the family line, even any illnesses, emotional or physical, or what they eat, or, so there's much more to it than just looking at figures. So just to recap on that too, on what does it all mean? Morphology for any men that have had a semen analysis. Morphology is the shape, motility is the movement, and count is the quantity. So all are essential for fertility. I've come to understand in my work, I know this sounds, I don't know how it sounds, but this is what I've come to understand, that I believe we're here on this planet to help humanity or the planet in some way. And I really understand this to be true. I'm actually starting to believe it's my main work, helping people unlock their truth. And what I see is when people unlock their truth and, and feel more self-love for who they are and their worth and their purpose, I'm seeing this reflected in the sperm. I'm seeing the reward being a baby. So for you to recreate a child that feels self-love and that feels free, you need to feel free and self-worth and balance first. So your sperm is the most creative part of you. If you're stuck in what I call your creative truth or your fertile truth, what I'm seeing is the sperm is stuck in its creative truth. It's like looking at you under a microscope. You're a macro version of your sperm. So this is an important slide in my world, really understanding this. As you transform and accept yourself for who you are and transform any stress, this is reflected in your sperm. Nature is incredible. So I'm understanding we are nature. We're part of that. We're here to grow, create, and transform. So fertility is the power to create not just conception, but personal transformation and alignment. And it's like that little plant growing there. The soil needs to be right, the seed needs to be healthy, the temperature needs to be right, and no stress. And it's exactly the same for the sperm growing. The temperature needs to be right, the environment needs to be healthy, the seed needs to be healthy, what's coming down the family line, and the liquid that the sperm is made in needs to be healthy. It's like that soil. And even though I've done all the study in Western and Chinese medicine, working with these principles is how I see people getting results quickly, often against all odds. So in Western medicine, they'll just say, oh, sperm production issues, but we don't know why, or there's a varicocele, which is, I say, a varicose vein in the testicle, obstructions in the reproductive tract, genetic, but they won't know why, it might show in a test. So my work is about getting to the root cause and treating from the root cause out. So there's only two main causes I'm seeing with male fertility, and they're always interlinked. One is what I call ancestral subconscious stress. It's what's coming down your family line. And the other is blocked in your truth. So as I say, I believe we're all here for a particular reason, and that's unique to us. And this had to unlock within me to see it in other people. I thought I was always going to be a midwife in the hospital or a nurse, and each time life was pushing me to go deeper, and my soul, and and as I work alongside the nature of who I am, my passion, my deep passion is supporting all of you um to unlock yourselves more. And I'm still only on the journey. I'm my main student, and and to feel free. I believe that's the nature of who we truly are. And one thing that I'm seeing is we're all busy. The energy is going too much out. And I'm going to talk about this now, but just to be open to the concept, in stillness we receive. Sometimes we nearly think, we get this gold badge for being busy. Guess what I was doing? All these jobs, being busy. But it's about being still and balanced and being open to receive into our lives and tapping into that nature within us. For any of you that have worked with me, you'll hear me talking about this slide a lot. In Chinese medicine, the oldest medicine in the world, they say our mind is in our blood and our blood makes our body fluid. So if you can really understand this slide, this is one of the basic concepts to my work. So the mind is in the blood and the blood makes the body fluid. So a stressed mind, both conscious and subconscious, can cause stressed body fluid. So this causes sticky, stagnant semen and an unhealthy environment for sperm to grow in. So this is a big reason that I'm seeing, in causing sperm abnormalities. So that nature's supporting us. So the mind is in the blood. So if we're stressed, the blood and body fluids are stressed. And if the semen is sticky, in that sticky environment, it's hard for the sperm to move or be shaped as well as it could be. So this is the cause. I'm going to be explaining this deeper as we go along, but this is what I see causing infertility in both men and women. The body is supporting us. The body and mind are completely intertwined. If we're stressed and stuck, the body is stressed and stuck. So I've spent decades understanding this. I've been on quite a journey over the last 10 years. I write every day. I meditate almost every day. Really understanding this, that hopefully I can help others. It's understanding how subconscious stress is causing infertility and why nature is blocking it and how it's on our side in supporting us to be free. And unfortunately, this is the world, that we live in, but I believe we can free ourselves from this stress and busyness. Nature doesn't want you to create a child that's carrying this stress, and so it will be blocked. So if you do too much, you pull the energy from your center where the sperm is being made. Actually, these sentences that are highlighted like this, for any of you that have worked with me, you might know, I know it sounds unusual in today's world. I'm not going to mess with it. I'll get this deep shiver down my body with certain sentences. And for me, that's always a deeper truth. And it's never been wrong. I use this to help people access their truth and where their block is. So this is an important sentence. If you do too much, you pull from your center. So this is one of my, this is my main kind of brand. I call it oneness, and it's on these principles. And in Chinese medicine, I take a bit from that. They say where your thoughts go, your energy goes, and where your energy goes, your blood goes. So nature's intelligence has it that the sperm and the eggs are being made in the center of your body. So, if we're sitting here, arms and legs out, bang, in the center, that's where the sperm are being made and nourished. And so we need to preserve some energy for the sperm. So imagine the concept, you have 100 hertz of energy. we'd want to be getting you to preserve about 5 to 10 hertz for this future child. So imagine you're made, which we are, we're made up of energy, we're made up of atoms. Science proves this. So if you're busy, the energy is going up and out away from the center. So the nature of your body is on your side. When you're naturally centered and balanced and going with the flow of life, nature has your back in recreating a child that's centered and balanced. Now, these are just some examples of energy, that I see with people. My work has gone more into energy, vibration, and it goes even past the physical body. It's trying to simplify it on what kind of energy I see with people and then how we can transform that within. And actually, Mihal, in fairness to him, and Leiden are going to chat about that later too. They're quite an inspirational couple, and I'm really grateful to them for being here. So this is one example of energy here to the left. A man is busy, energy going out, hectic lifestyle, balls in the air, not enough boundaries going past, and the energy is pulled from the center. And then this vibration is in every cell, every atom in the body. So it's not only blocking fertility, but the man can feel tired, stressed, and just that he's been pulled. The one to the right is just, now there's all different variations, but this one is more the man that's held in, suppressed, walls up, compartmentalized. This is the guy that's very analytical, structured, in a job, facts, figures, or engineer, everything, and very gifted with focus, driven, but like this racehorse with blinkers on and very held in. The second one is a man that can sometimes have a varicocele because the pressure of all this energy held in, it needs a valve to release it. So there's two main types of person that I see. Well, there's actually three types. There's two types, then sometimes it can be a combination. So from doing this work and talking about the ancestral line, there's two main men that I see since we're talking about male fertility. And so one is what I call the golden child in the family, which is an incredible guy, really motivated, really driven, really focused, really determined, high achiever, perfectionist, can be, have been mammy's boy in the family at a young age, but all this pressure, expectation, busy, and there's no letdown. They can be sometimes, obviously, all of us have good and bad aspects to us, but the negative aspect, we can be a little bit rigid, even though they tend to be excellent at their job. I don't know if some of you can relate to this. There can be an inner critic. And as I say, the body reflects the mind. So this can cause stiff muscles, tension neck and shoulders, tension in the body, calves. They're often drawn to exercise and carrying this weight of responsibility in their family and in work, and often feels held in. Sometimes they can even feel this ache in their chest and feeling more shut down. Tends to come in, wants time off, cup of coffee, read the paper, and this is the type can lead more to a varicocele and can be this heat, stagnation. And so it's trying, what I'm seeing is the body is trying to unlock from a logical point of view. Or the body is trying to create something, from a logical point of view. And also the body is trying to unlock itself. And what I'm seeing is the more challenged someone is, the more gifted someone is. Now, this type of guy tends to lead to low morphology, that the sperm is sticky, and in that stickiness, it's hard for the sperm to be shaped as well. And if the man is overheating and dry, there can be a low sperm count. But if there isn't that, there can sometimes be this abnormally high sperm count. Like I've seen men lately count, 400 million, 500 million, and they think that they're like Superman. Whereas I'm like, this really high count and low morphology. So this means that there's an antibody, it's sticky, and the old sperm isn't clearing. And this is something I recognize not recognized by the IVF or the fertility doctors yet. No one's ever come to me and said, the doctor said my count is too high. But what I find when we clear this out and the sperm count, the sperm becomes less sticky, the man often gets pregnant very quickly. So yeah, like, and what I'm seeing, like, this is the person that can, usually self-employed manager, control is the gift, control is the challenge, and that can take on big projects. But it's just having time for yourself and be able to take time out. And as I say here, a bit more closed, so it's trying to open up more. Another type is what I call empath scapegoat. Scapegoat, quite a bit of a strong word. It's just sometimes this guy as an empath sometimes feels misunderstood, by the world of systems or in the school system, or sometimes even by family members or by other men. And this guy is very gifted with sensitivity, can sense, feel, understand. In the school system, might have felt misunderstood, could have even been diagnosed with ADHD, dyslexia, that kind of thing. But for me, that's where the gift is being able to see beyond and being able to see a bigger picture. And sometimes this man can feel insecure, doubts ability because the school system didn't maybe understand him, or, he mightn't have felt supported with that. And each type, can feel slight addictive because, they might feel there's something blocked within them innately, but not sure how to connect with that, and might connect to something else outside. This person is very naturally creative, very empathic, especially with kids, with animals. And, and I see in this type of guy a deeper insight to create something new in a caring role. So each type of guy I see can be shut down, but really gifted. And like, I'm not saying this to keep you happy. I'm very straight talking. When I see a man coming to me with a really low count or low morphology or something wrong, like, I go into, wow, what's the gift here that this guy is carrying in the family line that's looking for recognition? I'm seeing it honestly, the opposite to what we think. And also, I see a guy, often that can be a combination of both, that has this natural empathy and that really wants to do something bigger with it. So, my work is around supporting any men with that to really connect to the energy within them, to feel empowered, to connect, in being able to transform what stress was in the family line, and that you as a man can feel empowered, kind of this warrior man, to transform the stress in the family line and lead from a place of, an
Suit.
open
And then
heart.
I realized I need to.
Sorry, someone has their mic on there. And yeah, so it's about taking the wall down and, shining out from this full potential energy. And I honestly mean this, the more challenged I see a guy, the more gifted I see a guy. And my work and my passion is around supporting you to acknowledge your gift with that and shine from that. So nature does not block fertility, it reveals where you are out of balance. Doing the inner work allows you to bring forward a balanced and healthy child. And it's important to mention here, it's not about someone giving up their job, I think, or doing something dramatic. It's just about acknowledging the truth, this inner worth, this self-love within you, and kind of making a commitment to your soul very gradually, that you're going to do something with this. Whereas most of us, can be, well, I've unlocked myself from this now, but we can be in a system of, the job, the mortgage, the pension, the child's and childcare. And I believe life is trying to unlock us all from this. And I'm only learning to do this myself every day, so this is how nature is supporting us. So we're going to talk a bit more about the root cause and the emotional energetic factors. So as I said, Western medicine just treats the symptom, but we need to get to the root. So the ancestral pain and suppressed emotions can live in the sperm, as I've mentioned, affecting conception. And it'll keep coming from one generation to the next. As you might see in a family line, you could see there's heart disease in the family, or there's, anything, arthritis in the family, or fertility issues in the family. And my thing is, what's under that? What's in the family line that's causing that? What's the root that we need to get to? And I personally believe there's an unlocking in humanity happening, that we're kind of hit the right bottom, with COVID and everything, we went deep, and I feel there's an unlocking now to create this new generation that feels free. So ancestral pain will keep going from one generation to the next until someone transforms it. So I see this pain as an energy, and energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. So I've developed an easy way of helping you recognize this energy, which Michal will be talking about too. That's just an energy. Call it a darkness, call it shadow work. It's about looking at that, and it can actually transform within seconds once we understand it. And yeah, so this, like, how I've learned it through my own challenges is from we need to go through the dark to get to the light. Everything I've learned, actually, I know this sounds, I don't know how it sounds, maybe a bit profound, is from transforming the darkness and shadow within me and, hopefully my own family. And as I'm transforming, I learn the wisdom under it. And this wisdom is within us all. And I'm only, as I say, learning every day. So the energy, even Einstein said that energy can only transform, it can't be created or destroyed. So I'm personally not into just sitting there and bringing in all this light. We need to transform the shadow first before we can bring in the light, that that it's like a cloud transforming back to light. And I'm going to do this at the end, just to show you a little bit on how this works as well. So the inner healing happens by acknowledging the blocks, accessing the truth, and restoring the energetic flow within you. When you align with nature, transform the ancestral block and live authentically and surrender control, we all like to control, then the subconscious stress transforms naturally. So nature is supporting you with this. It wants you and future generations to be free. It's like tadpoles living in a pond. The sperm need a clear, nourishing environment to swim freely. So if the environment is sticky and slight yellow tinge, and this is an environment where bacteria and abnormal cells can grow. And as I said before, the sperm can't move or be shaped as well in the sticky environment caused by this stress. So the sperm reflect your energetic state. It can be either shut down or too scattered, as I showed in the two diagrams earlier. It's all about balance. I just put this in here because, as I say, Michal's going to talk a little bit later on concentrating on the light at the base of your body, and how you can heal from within. Some cultures call it your base chakra. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And it's like the root of a tree. If that's not strong, everything else grows from that. So nature has it that the sperm are made in the scrotum, in the base of your body. So we need that environment to be healthy, and that then in turn grows healthy sperm. A varicocele, as I say, this it's a varicose vein. It's like a pressure valve, and emotional pressure can mirror this. Maybe just when I'm talking about this too, just to mention, I understand how, again, nature has it exactly accurate. There are no mistakes. So sperm are made better in a cool environment. So again, that's why the scrotum is outside the body. The testes are outside of the body. And if there's too much pressure or too much heat, that will affect how the sperm are being made. So yeah, it's the stress, and subconscious stress needs an outlet. As I said, the more challenged, the more gifted. Fertility arises when you let your walls down. We all put up these walls, face what's buried, and trust your body and emotional intelligence. It's being free to live and speak your truth. And this has been my journey. In one of the workshops lately, I shared, I used to have a bad stammer at one stage. I couldn't talk. I was very blocked, very low self-esteem. And as I'm learning to unlock myself, which is still, a challenge sometimes, that I'm trying to help all of you as I'm learning, how nature is supporting us to unlock yourselves and to live and speak your truth. I'm really passionate about all this. So often people will try this and try that, and it's this future baby that we feel you've nowhere to go but within, that will help you transform into a better version of yourself so that they don't have to carry the pain. So that hopefully for all of you, you can hold your baby and think, thank God I did this inner transformation, and just knowing your child is free. Nature has your back with this. Animals follow instinct. When we reconnect to nature, we too connect to our innate fertility. And like animals, studies show animals born in captivity, I don't know if you know that, have only about half the odds of successful breeding compared to wild animals. So it's the same, for any of you men or for all of us. If we're stuck and caught and feel caged in, this is going to be reflected in poor fertility. So nature's asking you men to lead. I don't mean this to sound whatever, but this is just the nature of our bodies. The man has a penis, the woman has a vagina. So nature has it. The woman is meant to be in receiving mode. The man is meant to be in giving mode. That's nature. And sometimes as women, we like to control, and it's been my own journey, but we need to soften and learn to receive. So I also talk about that. That's important for, if the date nights, let the man lead, organize the date night, and for the woman to be the receiver. And Leadin and Mihal, I think, are going to bring this in, what they're going to talk about too, because this was part of their journey also, which was, they're incredible. Yeah. So fear for all of us breeds control. Love allows surrender. And fertility flourishes when we learn to trust ourselves. So for any of you men, it's about trusting your body and trusting life. This is a whole presentation within itself, but I'll just make it brief. I'm understanding for all of us, the journey is living in the here and now. All we have is now, and the nows create the future. And in the now, there's two roads that were pulled Between, to simplify it, I call it fear and love. Fear is a fast energy and brings the energy within us up. The main thing I'm seeing bringing it up is the vibe of expectation. I need to do this, I need to do that. Have I done this? Have I done that? And we try and control, and it brings us up to our head. I call this road fear, ego, pain, manifesting in control. The other road is just learning to surrender, go with the flow, trust our heart, trust our gut, trust every part of our body besides our head. And I believe that we need both. So money, for instance, would be always more on the fear one. And, and we obviously need a bit of fear in our life. If a wild animal is coming from us for us or something, we need the fear on what to do. But when I see both, I see balance. We need to be in balance with both. But for most people, I'm seeing this one is winning out, and the love, trust, and truth one is here. So there's an imbalance, and this imbalance then is causing the sticky semen. The stress is going to be reflected in the mind, is in the blood. If you're stressed, the semen's stressed. So the journey is in the now. Am I showing myself love? Am I trusting myself, or am I operating from fear? So to start off, it's about acceptance, forgiving yourself even though you have nothing to forgive, and having more self-compassion. So even if there's one big takeaway you take from this presentation, think, if you feel the energy going up, going, oh, I need to do this, you're pulling the energy up and away from the base of your body where the sperm is being made and nourished. So it's in the now, is my energy going up, or am I balanced and more at one with myself? And this is something we all need to remind ourselves of. So it's about having compassion for yourselves. This is what nature wants. Because if we go back into the fear mode, the body's saying, you're at this crack again, inflammation, more infertility. So just to summarize this then, fertility maths is what I'm calling it. So optimum fertility is about transforming the patterns, looking at the patterns, what's being carried, given recognition, and living your truth and breaking free from that. To become fertile is to reclaim your creative self and live in alignment with what your soul wants. And do what you enjoy doing. If you think, God, I've always had a notion of, like this guy taking photographs or painting or building, or follow your passion more. So this part of the journey will help you to become the father you'd want to be. It has to break through you first. As I said, being a good father starts now. These are all people that have shared their testimonials. Recently, actually, Dan, the guy with the little fella with the blue hat, Dan and Andrea. Dan actually sent me a text. There's the little boy, Mike's just there about an hour ago. He knew I was doing this presentation, and they were on quite a journey, failed IVFs and complications. And Dan doesn't mind me sharing, very, very poor semen analysis. And Dan said and they conceived naturally after, I think it was 2 months or 2.5 months, using these techniques. And Dan just sent a message saying he's very happy to share or talk to any guy on this call that would be interested in, and just, sharing if he can help. And so if anyone wants to do that, send an email in and I'll give you Dan's contact. And they're a really lovely couple. All the couples here are really nice. The first couple on top, they had 3 miscarriages. They now have 2 lovely babies, Aoife and Gavin, and then Dan and Andrea. And Lorna actually the couple there on underneath Lorna had polycystic. Both of them had complications, and they now have their lovely little girl. And the couple at the very bottom, they're from Switzerland. They flew over to see me years ago, and they had had three terminations due to severe chromosomal abnormalities, and they now have their little girl. So yeah, but there's lots of, like, hundreds and hundreds of success stories, thankfully. And I don't take any of the credit, it's people's inner transformation. So nature doesn't lie. It's about one healthy sperm leading and the others following. Your body knows the way. So it's about you as a guy being the leader, taking action on your desire and not being afraid to follow that, whatever that is. The answers are within you. All my work is about, getting you to listen to yourself, supporting you with that. Now, I'm going to do a little pause, and so I'm just going to do a short interactive exercise here in supporting you, how you can listen to your own body intelligence. And so I'm just going to tell you how this is going to work. Now, it's not a full part of my work, but just that you'll get a bit of a snippet. Um, so as I say, I believe and understand and see it every day. Our body is holding the stress, subconscious stress in our ancestral line, and we feel stuck and blocked, and it's how to access that and be free from that. So I'm going to get you in just a minute or so to shut your eyes and to feel the stress in your body, especially in the base of your body, and just feel that for a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk you through it, and maybe get pen and paper handy if you don't have it handy. And then we're going to see what is the stress and how can we transform it from the inside out, yeah? So is everybody ready? Yeah. So if you all just close your eyes there, and I'd like you to welcome in, think of your ancestors, your parents, your great grandparents. And this is just to highlight stress now. So don't be afraid of bringing stress up, because we will be turning it into a positive. But first it's like a weed growing. We need to pull it from that root. So we need to see what's under all this. So if all of you guys just shut your eyes. And if any partners are here too, you're welcome to join too, obviously. So just shut your eyes and let any stress reveal itself. It's more the energy of it and the emotion of it. For example, does it feel stuck, stagnant, anger, fear? Just see whatever comes up for you. And then imagine how this is reflected and carried in your testes at the base of your body. The right testes tends to represent on the right side of your body, your father's side, and the left side of your body, your mother's side. So just sit with that for another minute or so. Just really let any stress show itself up, the energy and the emotion of it, and see what that feels like. And for the last just 20 seconds or so, really exaggerate that in your body. Just let it all, feeling and the energy of it, what you're holding, give it full recognition. And even think about your testes. Do they feel over hot, or is there a pull, or is there a pull more on one side, or bring all that into your awareness. And then in your own time, I'd like you to open up your eyes and just draw that. What does that look like? So just draw your left and right testes. We're just going to narrow it down just to the testes and how much stress. So this is just to highlight how much stress is being carried. And shade it in. And what kind of energy? Is it stagnant? Is it stuck? Shade it in. What kind of energy? Is it 50%? Is it 100%? And let the energy talk to you, not what your head thinks that it is. So you like put your family in your heart and let your family communicate what's being carried. You can do it with your right or left hand. I find it goes a bit deeper with your non-dominant hand. If you want to add a bit to the end with that. And then write, just ask your heart and write preferably with your non-dominant hand, what does this stress need? What does this, so maybe for instance, if it's darkness, it might need light. It probably needs the opposite of what you've written down. If it's constricted, it might need space. So just see what does it need, just with your heart, let your heart talk to you what's needed. And think of your sperm being made. What do your sperm need in that environment to be healthy and to grow and to have a healthy child? What does your sperm need? And you can even bring in, just thinking of yourself, Mihal, what do you need to be a good dad also, because it's all part of it. What needs to happen or to be true to yourself? Are any of you happy to share, first of all, what the stress or the darkness was? Just any of you happy to share in a couple of words? You don't have to now, but if you want to put it into the chat. Okay, I have something here. Anxious, yeah, good. Well, not that's good, but thanks for sharing, yeah. Anyone else want to share anything? Repressed, tight, wounded, great, yeah. Thanks for being open, yeah. Darkness felt like being stuck, yeah, great. Yeah, it's good to bring recognition. Been working with for a while and feel stress now, energy is flowing compared. Oh, that's good. Hi, Siobhan. Been working with you for a while and feel the stress free now and energy is flowing compared to when I first started. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing, Scott. Health and balance. Yes. So what we need to bring in, yeah. No, so now thanks for sharing, Scott. So exactly what we need, what it needs now is health and balance. Anything else? Anyone want to share anything else? What do you think that's needed? Anyone else want to share? Or you don't have to? Yeah. Work-life balance. Yeah, good. And maybe from an energy point of view, so so we have it's repressed, tight, wounded, dark, stuck, and yeah, to be free, calm, love and kindness, freedom. Yeah. Okay, great. We've plenty here. Now I'm going to create just a very, very short meditation on this that you get an idea on how to self-heal from the inside out. Clear mind. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, great. So if this area my stress is hi Siobhan, similar. My stress has reduced. Great. Thank you for sharing. That's great. Yeah. So once the stress is reduced, this will be reflected in the base of your body, in your sperm. So if all of you are happy, just put your pen and paper down, and I'm just going to create a very short meditation on this, yeah? And just maybe, keep your shoulders down, relax, be in receiving mode, yeah? Here we go. Everyone has their mics off, I presume, yeah. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to use your words, yeah, that we have here. Connect to the base of your body where the sperm are being made and nourished. Connect to the nature of your body, and you trust nature and you trust you. Even though you've had challenges, you're grateful for you, for the embryo you were formed from, for the family line that you're born into. Connect to the true nature of who you are, this calmness and freedom within you, and that's in the base of your body. Feel this energy of calmness and freedom reflecting and connecting throughout your whole body. Feel the sense of peace and space within you. Feel the sense of peace and space within your testicles. Acknowledge your ancestors and any residual stress that's showing up. This tightness, this darkness, this stuck, anxious feeling. There's no judgment on it. You're grateful to it for showing up. It's like a dark cloud revealing itself to you, and it wants to transform. The nature of your body wants to be free. It's like light shining through a cloud. This energy can transform back to light within seconds. Surround the stuck energy with this calm energy of freedom. Embrace, I'm a warrior soul. I'm carrying this energy, but I can transform it now so that me and future generations can be free. Shine the energy of empowerment and light and strength through any residual stuck, stagnant energy. The more powerful you make your energy, the easier it is to transform this stagnation. Feel the light within you shining through, shining and becoming more powerful through any residual stress. See this being reflected in your sperm, that your sperm are now free. One sperm is taking the lead and the others are following. Acknowledge I'm representing generations before me and generations after me. I'm leading from a place of empowerment and light. I embrace to live in the now from a place of self-love and feeling empowered. As I become more light, it's easier to welcome the energy of this baby into my life. I commit to more health and balance in my life and to feel free. I feel this deep connection to the nature of who I am. and I feel supported by nature with love. Well done. You can open your eyes there if you like. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm going to ask Rachel to send that in an email. And it's about you connecting to your truth and knowing this stress is just a vibration. And once you transform it, it will be reflected in your sperm. So just to summarize here, what we learned, male fertility is common and misunderstood. The stress and being blocked in your truth are the two main causes. Western medicine treats symptoms, but lasting fertility, we need to get to the root cause, and nature is on your side. So your sperm is a mirror of you, and it's about being aligned to yourself, and you have the power to influence your fertility through awareness, truth, and self-leadership. So it's viewing your fertility as an opportunity to transform. Just to mention here, for any of you guys that are overheating, ice pack on your groin is a good idea. You can use it daily if you like. Just to keep the sperm made in a cool environment. There's a good book that you might like called It Didn't Start With You by Mark Woolen, and he talks about inherited trauma and how to transform it. As I mentioned, date nights, the man plan and the woman receives. Ashleen is going to talk more about this anyway, but just to mention, stop smoking, eat healthy, reduce alcohol, and sleep is very important. Getting a really good night's sleep, like it's really important, and making time for what you love, follow your passion. And just to mention here too, pycnogenol is a great antioxidant, and barley, Ashleen will be talking about the barley grass juice powder as well. And just to mention, if anyone wants a one-to-one session or herbal consultation, I can give specific herbs and a one-to-one session. You just need to send an email or book online. Ashleen, sorry about the delay. Ashleen's an excellent nutritionist, and Ashleen's going to give more tips now. And I'll let Ashleen explain, give her own background. But Ashleen, like me, was involved in Western medicine also. And Ashleen's excellent. I've had sessions with Ashleen myself, and her work is healing through food. And yeah, and she's an excellent nutritionist. So thanks, Ashleen.
Thank you, Siobhan, for the introduction. I'm just going to share my slides with you here. And I've learned so much from you tonight. And yeah, this is amazing, Siobhan. So I hope everyone's been enjoying it. It's incredible to learn all this wisdom, to be able to apply this. So today, yeah.
Actually, well, thank you, Ashleen. Do I need to stop share here?
No, I think, can everyone see my screen now? It's saying nourishing male fertility. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Actually, I can't see it, but maybe I just need to press stop share from my side.
Maybe you stop share, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it now? Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking to you about nourishing male fertility, really to expand upon all of the amazing work that Siobhan has done with you. So just to give you a little introduction. So I have a background in early childhood studies, early childhood development. That's a huge area of mine. And I trained as an occupational therapist. During that time, I had my own health breakdown, which really was like what Siobhan was talking about, life wanting to unlock me and bring me onto this path, which I definitely wouldn't have chosen unless my health had really forced me. So it brought me onto the healing path that I'm on today, and with a specific interest in fertility and preconception, because during that time of illness, I had no periods, and I went from having no cycle to being able to reclaim my health once I started taking care of myself. And really, it really reflects everything that you've shared tonight, Siobhan, my own journey, because it was about taking care of myself physically, eating well and sleeping well, but it was also about aligning with my truth and what I'm here to do. So I think it's really an overall picture. And again, as you're saying, fertility is an expression of our health and vitality, but it also shows us where we're in alignment or maybe not in alignment. So yeah, it's just really bringing us into that awareness is so important. So for me, that calling after I discovered how my own health transformed, and I had been taking medication for many years, I was able to come off that, and just seeing myself recover really opened my eyes. And I went back to school to train as a nutritional therapist. I qualified in 2015, and I call that my calling. It was something much bigger than myself, which I didn't fully understand at the time when I was only 23, but I can see it now. Since then, I've established what I call Ashing Health School, which is my support for others. I work with people one-to-one, group programs, and I wrote a book with my journey of moving from fear to trust, which is always what I'm coming back to over and over again, coming out of the fear and coming into trust. And really to understand that the nutrition that I'm sharing with you tonight is to work with the harmony of your body. And whatever we've been given by our ancestors, I think, yes, we have the ancestral stress, but also we can reveal like the gifts of our ancestors as well to kind of bring that forward into the next generation. So for the past decade, I've been guiding others to reclaim their health. It's a huge passion of mine. I would do it just without even realizing it. I would end up doing it. It's always something that I've been drawn to since I was actually very young when I look back. So I've supported people to heal what's called, incurable autoimmune conditions. I've supported people to heal them at the root level. So I've really been diving into this over the past decade to understand how to support health and to use food as medicine. And that's a huge paradigm shift from, the allopathic model that we're so used to and that we kind of grow up inside. So preconception and fertility and pregnancy and postpartum and children's health are my areas that I specialize in. Obviously tonight I'm talking to you all about male fertility. And just to share, I had a natural home birth like Siobhan. I've only had the one yet so far. So I was 42 weeks pregnant. I had a very full belly and I gave birth at home in a water pool, which was, again, one of the most transformational experiences. I had my partner with me at all times, and my two dogs, Sophia and Happy, were greeting my little baby boy, Rian, who is now 3 and is currently running around somewhere outside being minded by my auntie. So the truth is, when you know what's at the root of fertility issues, you can address those root issues and conceive. So as Siobhan has really shared tonight, it's not one thing. It's really looking at yourself holistically and seeing the whole lay of the land in terms of where you are. And now we're going to look at how we can use the tool of nutrition to support this process. So male fertility, replenishing your body from stress. So, this is a huge theme of the workshop, is really understanding how stress impacts the body and how that can make your body acidic and inflamed. We all know about, adrenaline and cortisol, but that has a very impact on the physiology of your body. So it's making the environment of the body more acidic and inflamed. And it also limits your liver from detoxifying, because when you're running on a lot of stress, your liver is actually absorbing and neutralizing that adrenaline. So then it's stopping your liver from detoxifying. So this explains why when we have this stress going on, that the body isn't able to detoxify, and so that can impact then sperm health. This also depletes mineral reserves. So we want to look at how we can replenish. So to boost male fertility, it's all about getting back to the basics. There are no magic bullets, nor will an overly complicated approach help. And I think, just to echo what Siobhan is saying as well, it's really about not feeling overwhelmed or stressed by, Ashing has given me this list now and I've got to put this in a kind of stress way. It's like, okay, look, just what feels good, what feels doable for you. and just focus on just getting the basics right. So for me, in my perspective as a nutritionist, medical professionals will tell and will say, if you have been unsuccessfully trying, nothing is happening, the only answer is IVF. But obviously we know now, and with Siobhan's amazing breakthrough work, we obviously know that there is a missing link, and there's so many aspects to that. So I'm going to focus on the physiology of that. So when you're focusing on boosting sperm count and motility, and I won't go into all of this because Siobhan has gone into in full depth. So just the sperm count, increasing that, sperm motility, the ability of the sperm to move, which obviously we need to fertilize. So to optimize sperm count and motility, first, it's important for men to lower their mercury levels. Now you might be thinking, what is that? I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of that? But like I said before, when the body is in that stress state, it is actually impairing the body to be able to detoxify properly. So obviously our liver is detoxifying every day, but if we are not able to do that, if the liver is impaired in any way, obviously we can have a buildup of toxicity. So we want to look at detoxifying mercury, and I'll give you a very easy way to do that. So mercury in the system is a huge reason why men's fertility drops. So on a similar vein to how Siobhan is talking about how the ancestral stress can be passed on from generation to generation, also we can have toxicity can be passed down through the generations as well, until we actually take the measures to clean up our bodies. And this is the journey that I took, and I really took it very seriously when I was becoming a mother, and I got my partner on board. He was doing all the heavy metal detoxing as well, and also all the work to really come into harmony with each other. So if you're trying to start a family or extend your family, it's important to detox, because it's good to clean up the environment. It's like the soil. You want to make sure the soil is in a good condition, and you want to make sure it's nice and fertilized and replenished with minerals. So what you want to add to your diet is spirulina, frozen wild blueberries, fresh coriander, garlic, pretty simple ones, barley grass juice powder, and the Atlantic sea vegetables. These are really powerful supports for removing heavy metals from the body. Also, they contain amazing minerals as well. So dillisk and kelp. So I'm not talking about just like a little sprinkle here and there. You want to be like making this like a daily protocol. So we want to be aiming to add this in every day for ideally 3 months. So these are the healing, life-changing foods you need to optimize your fertility and vitality. And also, I think it's a really good discipline as well if you are stepping into becoming a father, or maybe extending your family. But if you are stepping into that threshold of becoming a father, it is something that it's going to be taking care of your health long term. It's not just about the preconception window. It's about really putting in these practices, but in particular for preconception is so important. So a great recipe, and this will be sent out to you. Don't worry, you don't have to write it down, is wild blueberries, coriander, spirulina, barley grass juice powder, and dillisk. So you put all that into a smoothie. So this is the recipe. 2 bananas, 2 cups of the wild blueberries. You can also, if you can't find the frozen, you can get the juice. A lot of health stores are stocking that in Ireland. And you can also get wild blueberry powder. A cup of fresh coriander, a teaspoon of barley grass juice powder, and a teaspoon of spirulina. A tablespoon of Atlantic dillisk, or you can get the droppers of what's called Atlantic dulse. That's just the name they give the company that makes it, and an orange juiced. So anyway, you can add in a bit more water or coconut water if you want to thin it, or some fresh orange juice. So you just blend it all, and then ideally drink that fresh. And again, you can add in some water if you need to. So the same diet that promotes female fertility promotes male fertility. So you want to be adding in the healthy foods that we all kind of know about, but just making them part of your daily diet. So you want to be adding in more fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices, and wild foods to whatever way you're eating already, just kind of fitting that into your meals. And where possible, things like fruits and vegetables, choosing organic as well will be important, especially for men in that preconception window, for ideally the 3-month time. So the anti-fertility foods and chemicals are also just as important for men to avoid as women. This is a huge area, huge passion of mine is around tap water and drinking water. So it's especially important to avoid things like chlorine and fluoride in tap water, especially if there's any fertility issues, because those chemicals do impact on our physiology. So filtered water or spring water is best. And if you are choosing to filter, you want to get something that's called a reverse osmosis, and that's the best way to purify drinking water. So male infertility is at least 1/3 of the problem. And when it comes to healthy sperm, we have to talk about mineral deficiencies in men, especially zinc. And these zinc reserves will be used up a lot in stress. So this is why we want to be replenishing your zinc. So one of the options that you can look at is the herb ashwagandha. This is actually very good for, nourishing the adrenals as well, which is, the base energy. This can be helpful for male fertility. It's been historically used as a natural infertility treatment. It's rich in minerals. So of course, number one is zinc, and that is the number one mineral that we need. So it has iron, calcium, magnesium, vanadium, and cobalt. So all very important minerals for sperm. So another herb is nettle leaf, which we have growing in abundance here in Ireland. You can get that dried in a tea form. You can pick it up in a tincture as well, ideally alcohol-free. And you can get red clovers, which is, again, that's another wild herb, and that can also be found in health stores for tea. These are all very, very rich in minerals, which will replenish your health and your sperm quality. Vitamin B12 can be helpful, but I would say overall number one would be a good quality zinc. Zinc sulfate is a really good option. This is the most precious mineral when it comes to the health of a man's sperm. So it's crucial for men to restore their zinc and mineral reserves. So it's not just about taking a supplement, it's also about really nourishing your body through real food, fruits, vegetables, greens, putting in the herbs, nettle, red clover, rosemary, and lemon balm. So if you're a man and you're drinking coffee, having instead of coffee, which is caffeinated, having things like nettle leaf and lemon balm, which are very nourishing and soothing to the nervous system and can bring your body into a great state of calm and balance. So not only is it important to eat the foods rich in zinc, so things like cabbages, radishes, artichokes, nettles, and pumpkin seeds, they're all very high in zinc. You also want to focus on alkalizing your body, reduce where you can, eliminate gluten, dairy, processed sugars, eggs, alcohol, things that are going to be a little bit more acidic forming, and put in lots of clean carbohydrates that really fuel your body and give that energy and vitality. So things like potatoes, sweet potatoes, and squashes. Supplement with a high quality zinc sulfate, and this is one of the ones that I recommend by Vimergy. So sperm is rich in zinc, so it's important to nourish and replenish your reserves for healthy sperm. So fertility foods, which are helpful for men, bananas, avocados, cherries, and mangoes. And berries are very, very powerful. So if you can, we're, getting blackberries now, we're going to be getting loads of them in August. Lots of wild blueberries, whatever kind of berries you can get your hands on, put those in. They have pro-fertility compounds in them, as well as things like sprouts, leafy greens, raw honey, and again, the vegetables like potatoes, which are very high in glucose. So if you're choosing animal protein, again, we want to be going for the cleanest options, things like organic chicken, organic grass-fed beef, really knowing where your meat comes from. Wild venison is also another good one, if you can source that. And low mercury fish like wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Avoiding things like tuna in this time, which is higher in mercury due to pollution in the ocean, not due to the fish itself. So I've also created a free gift for everyone on the workshop, which is a male fertility daily diet, which is a sample menu that you can use, which is going to pull all the foods that I've listed tonight for you, just to kind of give you a bit of structure around it and a kind of starting point. So you'll get the link to sign up to that, which will be sent out tomorrow. So thank you so much, Siobhan,
Thank
I
you.
think I stayed in time anyway. I had myself on the timer and I've just gone over 15 minutes, so there you go.
Yeah, thank you, Ashleen. Thanks. Yeah, and it's all very inspirational. Yeah, Ashleen. Ashleen has lots of tips and tools. So thank you, Ashleen. That's all great. Yeah, thank you. Very inspirational. And as Ashleen said, all there'll be a link and the information will be sent in a follow-on email. So yeah, we'll get that out to you tomorrow. Thanks, Ashleen. Yeah. Now how do I get back to um yeah, that's great. Is everyone able to see the screen here?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ashleen. And now, Mihal, sorry about the delay, Mihal and Leiden. And yeah, they're an inspirational couple, and especially Mihal from the man point of view, I think is going to talk. But only yesterday I said maybe it's good for Leiden to come, a little bit on board too. And so just to share a bit about their story, Mihal's 41, and don't think he minds me sharing. They had, poor semen analysis. Mihal had it's only one testicle due to having an infection in the other one. And Leiden, I think it's important to mention age because often women are concerned about their age. Leiden's 42 and a half, 43 in August, and they had fertility challenges. Leiden has just one fallopian tube due to an ectopic. And when I just met them, I think it was the 29th of January this year. And they had a double session, a single session each, and then another double session. So it was 3 sessions each, and within 2 months, they conceived naturally. So Mihal is inspirational in just sharing how I worked with them, and they are an incredible couple, and they embraced it. I think it was in 2 months they conceived naturally. So yeah, so a big welcome to Mihal and Leiden. Thanks for being here. Thanks so much, yeah, for sharing, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Actually, hold on. How do I make you bigger on the screen?
If you stop sharing and then
Oh yeah,
pin our screen.
I think that's it up now, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Is everyone able
Um,
to see me, Mihal and Leiden okay?
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, Siobhan.
yeah, thanks, Siobhan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And it's great. Leiden, I think is it 16 and a half weeks pregnant that you are now?
Yeah.
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 That's it. Yeah. So just met them in January and Leiden, all is going great, thankfully. Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you
You go.
Sure.
you'd like to
Yeah.
share. Yeah.
It's well, it's amazing to be in this position to share this because like that at the start of the year we were really kind of facing a brick wall. We didn't know where to go or what to do because, for example, yeah, I lost a testicle a number of years ago from an infection, and and then when I went for sperm tests recently, earlier on or last year, I was really kind of deflated to see my sperm count or my all the numbers in my sperm result were just what you shared earlier on. I had a really high count, thinking like, yeah, I'm fucking firing them out there, but the morphology was really poor, the motility was really poor, and yeah, it was really sticky sperm, and like my body was sticky. It wasn't until you explained the figures and you looked at my body and said, oh yeah, you're like this and this. I was like, oh God, yeah, I always have this stickiness and tightness, um and it made sense then when I read the figures, and it yeah, after going to you, I kind of had hope again because I suppose I'd lost hope or
Mm,
we didn't know what to do at the start of the year, and you kind of had, yeah, you had your difficulties as well with
mm,
your uh lost fallopian tube. So um when we went to work with you, we immediately felt a deep connection, knowing that
mm,
you were kind of encouraging us to look inwards and to kind of, heal ourselves as best we could, or to get ourselves in the best condition that we could for whatever was to come, whether it was for a natural kind of conception or using IVF or IUI. So both of us really clicked with that, and I immediately felt more empowered, which is a great feeling no matter what is going to come. And after we did our sessions and then doing the work to go inwards and to form a meditation, I found it really transformative to acknowledge um the, I suppose, the trauma in my body from the lost testicle, and to really acknowledge that and to look into it and see, okay, what is my body telling me here? And you, working with you, Siobhan, you helped me to kind of open that up and to really put a voice to it. So I wasn't hiding from it anymore. I really was able to be exposed and to heal that, and then to consciously create a new kind of version going forward. All the things that you talked to me about of kind of like being centered and kind of having my energy aligned really felt so important, because I had like looking at the foods you were saying, Aisling, I think we were eating quite well, or we'd refined our diet over the last few years to try the best we could. And I think the key was to really energetically get myself in the right state internally, because I had a lot of fears and doubts, and especially after
Actually,
seeing the results, kind of thing.
yeah. And Mihal, maybe to share, I have your notes here because for anyone that works with me, I'll get this deep sensation. I know it sounds unusual. It's kind of like the healer in me. It's probably obviously within a soul, but I'll get this deep sensation down my body where we particularly need to work. So with Mihal, I got a deep shiver for the truth of things, and I was about going, I'm just looking at your notes here, going inwards and embracing and working with the creative energy and the internal world. And it was about then how and when we looked at the right testicle, the light was sucked out of it, and how to recover your strength, and it was all about looking inwards from that centered place. Yeah. And so I get guidance kind of through my body intelligence on how to work with everyone as an individual. So yeah, Michal, so all that made sense to you, I think, as well. Just when I got
Big
that
time.
about going deeper.
It really resonated, and as soon as you said it, I was like, oh God, yeah. Like I had been lacking that. I had been turned away from that aspect, even though in many ways a lot of my life is formed towards that, but it pushed me on to another level. And it's one of the things that with the meditation, you a lot of it, every time I would listen to the meditation once it was formed, the different meditations, my personal one and our joint meditation, I would really try and energetically like really focus in and change my feeling in my body every day, like in the morning and the evening, and even during the day I would try and kind of visualize it, change the way I felt internally, change my breath, and it really did like immediately shift things like so quickly. And even before I knew we were pregnant, I was talking to my friends, going, like, I just feel so good. I felt so much better, even though not much had changed externally. Internally, I felt more empowered. I felt stronger. Yeah, I felt my body just more alive. And even though I had no signs of anything to do with my sperm, internally, I felt like, yeah, like even in my meditations, one part of the meditation was that like there's a dot, and that dot is the sperm, and I am the sperm. And every time I would do it, I would be the sperm, and I know it sounds silly, but internally I'd be like, yeah, I'm the sperm, and I'm flying through. I'm going up the fallopian tubes, and I think that really helped to like break the old blockages that were there, and to re-energize myself like every day again, throughout the day as well. And it was really
Yeah.
magic, energetic shift.
No, fair play, yeah. And that's exactly what it is. And as you know, Michal and Leadon used your words. So, we'd go deeper and see, what was within your energy and your body that needs transformation. And under this so-called darkness or shadow is the gift and the wisdom in your family line that's
Mm,
looking for recognition. So it was about, acknowledging that. And again, the more challenged, the more gifted, as I would certainly see with both of you completely, So it's about acknowledging the gift of who you are in your family line that hadn't been fully
mm.
acknowledged. Yeah. Yeah.
And those words, because I like at the start I was saying I felt so disempowered. I just was like so weak, even seeing the test results. But like that, hearing you say the more challenged, the more talented, the more gifted, it was like, okay, I'm not. There's some bigger reason that's been calling me to kind of really focus now and to go into these challenges so my gifts can come true. And
Yeah.
that's been such a gift, like for myself personally, for the rest of my life, no matter whether we got pregnant or not. And I think that's immediately the state I was in, just kind of going, okay, I'll 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 be as strong as I can in my life and give the best chance because as you were saying, and it really impacted me, the kind of nature in a way just it doesn't kind of fake anything. It's like it's either working or it isn't, and it isn't working for a reason. So I just, yeah, it made so much sense to kind of go inwards and to work with that meditation and to trust that that I had the healing power, uh,
Yeah.
outside of maybe what the doctors were telling me. There was a greater power there that I could access with help. Um,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And because I would know that if you went to a fertility clinic, it would definitely be ICSI would be recommended sperm
yeah.
selection, and the results with ICSI, it's really not as good for the baby because it's sperm selection, and the success rates wouldn't be as high, especially with Leland's age. So it's all about trying to work with the nature of your body, not against it. But I could see and feel energetically, how things. So, I wasn't surprised when you conceived naturally because you were incredible at doing this deep transformation quickly. And
Mm,
as Mihal said, the more powerful, the more gifted. So when I met, both of them and saw Mihal one testicle results, I think the morphology was either 1 or 2%
yeah.
normal, and the motility was really low. I'm like, wow, there's something bigger and deeper under this guy to really have an impact, to really lead here, and which
Mm,
which I would see as like Mihal does. We'll come on to that at the end, but male workshops and help and support guys and all that, yeah. And also, yeah, we did sessions where we'd visualize the baby and visualize leading pregnant and what that felt like. And as a couple, how
yeah.
did you how did you find that? Both of you?
Um,
Yeah.
Again, like I guess some of the work I'll be doing to do with theater and kind of body work, it was something that I was used to, like really visualizing almost not what's here now, but what something else. So I was able to create that quite strongly. And every time in the meditation, I'd see myself with the baby, like almost showing it to my friends, kind of like celebrating and or seeing Lead and pregnant, like admiring her. So that was just like in my body every day
Yeah, yeah,
as a
yeah.
reality, even though it, in a way, it hadn't happened, but I kind of was drawing it closer to me by feeling it
Yeah,
happening
yeah,
right
yeah,
now. But
absolutely. And I know we mentioned this yesterday, but I do feel my work is similar to Joe Dispenza's work now. And I don't mimic anyone. I've never read any of his books, but I believe when it happens energetically within us, then life matches us. It has to happen in our energy first and in
mm,
our vibration. And maybe, Mihal, if you'd just like to share, how did it feel at the base of your body, connecting to that light at the base of your body to
I,
self-heal from
yeah, so
within?
empowering because there had been so much trauma and stickiness and ickiness that I didn't even want to look at because of the issue with my testicle. To be to be bringing, like, to be honoring that injury and then to be bringing in light consciously and all the positive energy into my whole body, and especially down below. Like every day, it's kind of, I suppose it worked a kind of a magic. Like
Yeah.
it was, I didn't necessarily do anything
Yeah.
physically outside of myself, but it shifted
Yeah.
internally the cells. It felt like my cells
Mm.
were changing every day.
Yeah, no, fair play. And that's my whole work. As Mihal said, it's about empowering Mihal or any man, that the power is within you. I'm just the support. I don't take any of the credit. I'm just the support, and it's about connecting you back to your full potential nature. Like even science shows we're made from the same atoms that make stars, we're made from this universal force, and we're playing it small. So my work is around connecting you to this full potential energy so that you can self-heal. And one of the other shiver sentences, as I call them, that I got, um, Leland, I think I have this written in your notes, and I'll ask you then maybe, Leland, how you felt or if you saw a change in Mihal, was that Mihal would take the lead, because Leland is an excellent businesswoman and self-employed, and it was about Mihal taking the lead and lead and stepping back into her feminine and being more soft and open and trusting. And actually, it was after that session that they conceived. So, for any couples listening in, lead in anything that you'd like to share on that.
Yeah. Well, it was amazing just watching the transformation in Mihal in general, and just how he felt in himself, and just felt so much more aligned and empowered. Definitely
And
from doing
sorry,
the
for
one-on.
yourself too. Sorry, and I know I'm focusing on Mihal, but for yourself too, yeah. Maybe if you want to share a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit on the journey, leading, yeah.
Yeah, so it was amazing watching the transformation on for him, and for me as well. Just I suppose like on the fertility journey, we can start to have such a lack of trust in our bodies, especially like my cycle length was increasing and short and all over the place, and I didn't know when I was ovulating or when I was going to bleed, and really it was like my womb telling me that I should be on a different path, and we were so close, to going down kind of IUI or IVF route, but my womb kind of clearly told me that I needed to do something else, and that's when we found you, Siobhan. And I'm trying to remember your original question now to stay
Yeah, no,
focused
maybe,
on my
yeah. Just
answer.
I suppose if you want to share too, because I think leading your cycle was 60 days when I met you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had two really long cycles, and it was 60 days, and I've been waiting to go for this high cozy procedure, which is to kind of put a dye up through your uterus to check that the one fallopian tube that I had was clear, because I wouldn't be suitable to go for IUI if I had a blockage, and sometimes they can clear the blockage out. And my bleed didn't come, and I just was like, it was like around Christmas time or after Christmas, and I just was like, I just have a feeling I'm supposed to be doing something else. And as soon as I said that, I felt my womb drop in where it had been in kind of limbo land. It didn't have any feeling in it. So I didn't feel like I was in any particular season or that my bleed was about to come. But when I said that, I felt my womb drop, like in that kind of PMSy way. And then that's when I discovered you, Siobhan. You popped up on Instagram, and I sent you a message, and we had a phone call with you just to chat. And as soon as you came on and said, you believed everything is energy and vibration, you had me hooked, because I mean, I've been doing a lot of energy work for years, and that's how I healed my asthma. I had chronic asthma as a kid and was on antibiotics all the time, and I healed that through sessions of Reiki. So, and my sister and her partner would do that, a lot of that kind of work. So that was more my language. And, I have barely gone to a doctor in years. I go to a kinesiologist and eating healthy and well is more my thing. So, but I believe that the whole journey we're on is for a reason, and it is, it will be our gift to others, in the future.
Ah,
And just, I suppose, the meditations with you, Siobhan, it just, like really connecting with all the parts of my womb, and connecting with my fallopian tube, you know, and the one that was missing, and my ovaries and my womb, and just giving all them love and trust was hugely transformational. And just the kind of from feeling so frustrated and like not knowing what was going on, and I suppose let down in a way, you know, and not trusting, to
Yeah.
then really trusting and really seeing, you know, just holding all of, you know, my precious body and even all the organs in such love and light and trust, and kind of letting go of how it was going to happen, you know, just
Yeah.
trusting that, you know, that my one fallopian tube could pick
Yeah.
her egg, and that egg could travel, and, you know,
And
trust
how did you
in Mihal as
how
well.
did you uh, how did you feel when you saw that pregnancy?
Couldn't believe it. I just was like, because I really
Yeah.
didn't think, you know, Miho was heading away for 2 weeks. And before he went, you know, we made love once, and we both had a laugh about it, because, you know, we were just like, ah, sure, you know, because it was early in my cycle, and I thought I would, you know, had much longer cycles. My previous cycles after meeting Siobhan, I had two really great cycles that were completely clot free, painless, and they were 32 days. So you would think I was ovulating much later, but we made love on day 7 of our cycle, and so I really didn't think we had conceived, or, you know, and then we had, and I just was like, wow,
Yeah.
couldn't believe it, and
Yeah.
it was so over the moon, you know.
And that's how it goes. It's when we, you know, for all of us, when we hand the control over, surrender, and it's like we don't know how it's going to happen, but we're just trusting the body intelligence. And did you connect more as a couple, would you say? And did you learn to receive
Yeah.
more
Well,
lead,
yeah, you
connecting
were
how to take
asking.
that lead? Yeah.
Yeah, you're asking Siobhan about the me coming into receiving mode and softening, because I'd be all the balls in the air, you know, keeping the list to do things and all of that. And it was great, you know, Mihal just kind of stepped forward a bit more, and, like, you know, it was all very simple things, but, you know, he just kind of were well, yeah, bringing me out on dates and going, no, I'll do this, you just sit and relax. And I just, you know, instead of me just being like, oh no, I'll do stuff as well, I just was like, no, I'll just take time to have some downtime, and to rest and relax, and to receive, you know, all the offers he made. And that was a real difference. I think that softening in me was really needed, actually, because
Yeah.
I was tending to push a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that
Which
did,
we,
it
which
was so
we,
subtle, but
which
made such a huge difference, you know?
Yeah, no, and thanks for sharing, leading, which we all need. You know, the women need to soften, and it's about the man taking the lead. And I'm just conscious of time. Well, mainly me. Sorry that went over, but thanks so much. Anything else, Mihal, that you'd like to say for any men listening in
Um,
here? Any
um,
words of advice, wisdom?
I,
Actually, by the way, everyone's saying great story, Mihal, well
yeah.
done, inspirational. You've given us so much hope. Yeah,
Well,
thank
it really was, and not to big up you, Siobhan, but like I really do feel you in a way gave us the key to what was inside of us. Just very simple things that you were able to pick out and you know hand it back to us, and you know obviously we still had to do the work and to make the changes, but I really feel it's been an amazing shift in my life. Again, aside from any pregnancy, I've been feeling so much better and on a deeper path, like to my soul's journey. So like that's a huge gift in itself.
you. Yeah, yeah,
So
no, absolutely. And as I was saying, you know, I'm starting to think part of my main work is helping people acknowledge the truth of who they truly are, and freeing that pain up in the ancestral line to your unique gift. And I'm seeing the reward as being the baby. And as everyone listening here can see, Mihal and Needham are an inspirational couple, and I do think all this will go into their work of working with people. And Mihal, maybe if you want to share if you want to send me a message, or your on your group work. Micheál does retreat work with men, and I'd really recommend him genuinely. And so if anyone wants to know more information on that, Micheál, send me your email if you want your contact, and I can stick it in an email, and and I'd be like very happy to recommend both of you with your work. And people are saying amazing story, congrats to you. Congrats to you both. You've given us so much hope. Great storyteller, Micheál. Well done. Micheál's given such a bright light energy. You are an inspirational father. The power of healing. So great to hear your stories. So yeah, everyone is grateful. Thanks.
And this is the thing was, like, maybe even when I was talking with you, Siobhan, I couldn't see what was going on with me. It took Leading in, as we were discussing, to pinpoint certain aspects that I was even hiding from myself. So
yeah,
it's, everyone is so talented in their own different way, and it's kind of I suppose you helped me to kind of have more trust in what is inside of me.
yeah. Thanks, Micheál. Yeah, no, thank you. Seriously, thanks so much for sharing. And and this is within us all. It's just being able to acknowledge it. Thanks, Aisling. So natureofman.ie, natureofman.ie, www.natureofman.ie. So if anyone's interested in, looking into that, and Micheál has been on his own whole journey even before meeting me, obviously, and there's a lot of wisdom there that I know, is in Micheál and within Leading, to share with others. So thank you, and hopefully I'll meet you soon in person someday. Yeah. So thanks. So okie doke. So just to finish up on this, so thanks to everyone for joining. Sorry, we've gone a bit over, and so the main take from this is you can self-heal. The more challenged, the more gifted. And and if you're carrying some infertility issue, it's, in my world, you're this warrior soul, and this is just an energy, and you can transform it. And the more we go into the dark, the brighter the light it has to balance. So it's what's the deep wisdom under this that that you're here to share with humanity, with other people. Interestingly, I've never got a shiver down my body for anyone going to college or doing a course. The wisdom, the unique wisdom, is within you and in your family line. And so it's about accessing that. I'm here to support you, and also listen to yourself, listen to your own soul. And I'll be sharing out an email on this, and sharing a bit of everything, and sharing Aislinn's great information as well. Thanks again, Aisling. She's, that it's unique tips, which is great. So there's more emails coming through. Thanks again. Everyone is saying thank you, and thanks to Aisling as well. So thanks everyone for joining in, and I really hope you found it beneficial. And if any of you have any queries, please do send an email in, or if you want a quick chat with me, send an email in, and I'm happy to support all of you. And thanks so much to Micheál, Leading, and to Aisling, and you're all incredible. So thanks everyone, and hope you all sleep well. Okay. All right. Good night for now.
Thanks, Siobhan. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Siobhan.
Everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Siobhan.
Siobhan.
Thank
Everyone.
you.
Yeah, thanks again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thanks,
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.